What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. You are watching Todos con Todos. My name is Mike. We have my boy Chewy on the other side.
What's
of
up,
the
guys?
screen.
Welcome back, guys. And we are First of all, Super Bowl. What are your thoughts, Mike?
I'm not a huge football fan. I've mentioned that in the past. However, it is a major sporting event, so I figured I would definitely watch. It was cool, man. My thoughts on the game, I thought it was kind of a boring game. Football in itself isn't very interesting to me. And what I do enjoy is I like watching a game that's like a tight game or a close game, back and forth. And there wasn't a lot of that. I got a kick, though, out of watching Patrick Mahomes run around and then throwing the ball and hitting the receivers in the helmet. And, like, dude, it looked like a major league team with a little league team.
Dude, so here's the dude. It sucks because that guy, dude, was doing everything in his power, man. A lot of people said like he didn't show up. For me, he did, but his team didn't show up, dude.
Exactly.
He was making the throw, he was running and everything, and dude, like you said, it was so freaking funny that the receivers were not able. Dude, the ball was hitting the helmet, dude.
The ball
It was like
it almost like got stuck in the face mask. That was hilarious.
yeah, dude. That was so. But I mean, he's a young kid, man, and I know for a fact he's good, and he's gonna have a lot of more opportunities.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure once Brady's gone, he's definitely going to be one of those top guys that takes over for a lot of years. So yeah, man, I think the game was okay. The commercials, they were all right. I get, there wasn't a lot of really awesome commercials. The halftime show was really great. I'm a big fan of The Weeknd, and I think The Weeknd killed it. I think it was a great performance because of this. I know I went on Twitter and a lot of people were roasting the halftime show, but here's the reason why I think it was a really awesome show. And I think you're going to probably agree with me, because normally the halftime show is put together by 2 or 3 really big names, right?
Correct.
You have Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Coldplay. That was freaking great, right? J-Lo, Shakira. And this year, it was The Weeknd by himself. It was nobody else.
Correct.
And he was able to carry that entire show and make it a really interesting show. And obviously, my favorite part of the entire show is all the memes that they're coming out with when he goes into that little tunnel thing and he's like looking around everywhere. Dude, the memes on that are hilarious.
Dude, and when we were watching right here with my sisters and everything, as soon as that part showed up, they were like, dude, this is gonna be a meme for sure. And we were like, yeah, right away after that, like Twitter was blowing up with the memes and everything. But here you go. I don't know if you knew this, dude, but he was wearing the same outfit like the previous, like, I don't know what's the event called, but the AMAs or something for singers and music and everything like that. Like he set up this part of the show, dude, since months ago, dude.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So he was actually wearing the same outfit, the same color, same everything, dude, for the past, I want to say, like 4 or 5 months. And then when he showed up to the half show, he was wearing exactly the same thing. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but he had something done in his face. So that's why the other dancers had the thing on their face. But everyone, once again, when you're not a big fan of The Weeknd or you don't know what's going on, like, people are super quick to judge.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. That's it was cool. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Yeah, I mean, overall, I want to say the entire Super Bowl was okay. Again,
yeah, it was okay.
It wasn't.
Yeah, besides the game, because I was expecting a little closer game as well. But I don't know if you heard the news though. Now, I mean, since Tom, every single team that he touched, they win Super Bowls. I think the Cowboys are looking to contract him for next season.
My boy, the Cowboys.
So
I don't think could. Even if Tom Brady were to go to the Cowboys, there's still no hope for them.
It doesn't work for them.
It does not work.
Yeah,
for them.
no,
That's
man.
crazy, dude. Yeah,
It was crazy.
One other very interesting thing that happened, actually, I think it was today. David Dobrik is back was back on YouTube with a new video, which
my boy. Okay, That freaking guy. So, for you guys that follow me on my solo podcast as well, you know that I didn't post last Friday, okay? But I'm just gonna tell the news here, okay? So I'm reinventing my setup
Oh, hell yeah.
for that, right? And for you guys that have the pleasure of watching this podcast on video, my boy, so this is the new
Dude,
setup
it's so nice.
that they have. It's freaking sick, okay? So I was like, damn, bro, that freaking guy. So he's back vlogging, and right now the perfect room because first of all, he bought a new, like a brand new
huge
house,
mansion.
dude.
Yeah, that's what the video was
The
about.
freaking mansion, exactly, dude. The freaking mansion it's super big, super nice, and everything. But when he announced like, oh, this is the room that I was waiting for, guys, and everything, and he opened the freaking door, and I see the podcast setup, the podcast equipment, and how he has to do it. I was like, damn, bro,
Yeah, dude.
like my setup is a fucking piece of shit. But here's the good thing, okay? Because for you guys that don't know, right? Right now I'm living with my parents, but we actually have like a room, like an office room for all of us. Like my sisters go to school, they do homework right there and everything. But I just talked to my parents, and they were cool with the idea of me switching the setup in there.
That's cool.
Like that.
That's so cool.
So I'm like, hell yeah. So now, of course, this is going to be like months, right? Because it takes money and everything. Now, like we mentioned before, my boy Mike, like we're not big in this yet. We're not making money out of this, right? But that's the idea. So I'm actually gonna vlog all the process, all the change and everything like that, because once again, guys, and if you guys don't follow me, right, and you are not like up to date with what I'm doing, but actually one of the ideas that Mike and myself had as well, it's to invite people into the podcast that we're later on, right? But because of COVID, we switched that dynamic and that idea, and we want to make sure that everyone's safe, first of all, and then number two, once everything went like back to normal, start inviting guests like Mike over there in Phoenix, and then myself here in El Paso. So of course I had the idea of changing the setup of my solo podcast, having in mind this podcast as well, because that way we can go ahead and have more guests there and everything like that, right? So that's the idea of actually switching everything. And right now, guys, I'm actually filming in my room. This has been the setup like for the past 2-3 months. Mike is just a room he has as well. So that's why we reinvent how we were gonna record this podcast, because the original idea was not this, right, my boy?
Right. Yeah. I think obviously COVID has moved things around, but yeah, dude, I think looking at his studio, looking at the new Impulsive podcast studio, like those are just so freaking awesome. I think podcasting is coming into a new era. It's coming into a new level, and I'm here for it, dude. I'm so happy that we're actually doing this while the podcast movement is going, and we're not coming in like towards the end. Because it's like, it's awesome, dude. We're actually doing it. And I think, something that I want to talk about, the topic of today's episode is going to be a very interesting one. And it's something that, we're splitting this episode, into two different parts, because we want to give this topic its designated time, because I know that sometimes 30-35 minutes isn't enough for something that's very serious, like what we're going to be talking about today. And, but going and I'll just say it. We're going to be talking about the law of attraction and speaking things into existence, and how powerful that is, right? And whether you believe in it or whether you don't, whatever your perspective on it is, we're going to be talking about different viewpoints of it. But to just share a little quick story before we get started with that, dude, I think everything just happens for a reason and happens in such a crazy way. Chewy asked me right now, he was like, hey, did your equipment get there already? The camera that the new camera that you're going to be using. And I was like, no, dude, the last episode, we got like 3 views, and like, I'm not going to be like putting money into it if we're not going to be. And as I was saying that, guys, I kind of caught myself, because that's the exact type of thinking that kind of stops you from going to the next level. The thinking and the mindset of, I don't see it yet, so I'm not going to invest in it yet. When in retrospect, it should be, I should invest in it until I start seeing things, and then I'll start seeing things. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to set up my studio. I'm going to set up my cameras. I'm going to set up my equipment. Because guys, for those of you guys who don't know, what type of equipment Chewy and I and myself have, we have like top-notch equipment for podcasting. We're not boasting on what we have. We're not, trying to show off, but the stuff that we have, it's good stuff. We're not just filming on an iPhone. We're not just filming we're not just recording on a little Amazon microphone. Like, we have legit stuff. And some people would say, well, why would you invest so much money when you're just starting up? And that's why. And it's crazy that we're talking about that studio, dude, because obviously this room that I record in, this is my room in the house. When we bought the home, there was an extra room / like den or playroom or whatever you want to call it, TV room. And my wife said, that's your room. You've always wanted that. That's been your dream since like we got married. Like, we finally were able to get the house that we've always wanted. And that's all you. So little by little, I've been doing things to it, but you're right, dude. I want to have a badass setup. I want to have a setup where I could invite people once COVID starts going away or it starts slowing down. I could invite guests. We can have, even when you visit or when other people visit, we can have people on the show and on the podcast. So definitely, dude, I'm excited for that. I think that's something to work hard towards. So congratulations on that, dude. If you start doing that, I'm very excited to see the process and to see the progress on your vlogs. That would be freaking awesome.
And that's a good point that you talked about, dude, because once again, guys, we're not trying to brag like, oh, we have top of the line equipment and everything right like that, right? If you're recording on an iPhone, good. If you're recording on a Best Buy microphone, right, that's good. I was so excited actually when you mentioned like the Best Buy microphone. I was so freaking excited one of these days because I text Mike like, hey, dude, I saw these microphones at Best Buy for $70 each. Like, they're super legit. And I tested the microphones, and they sound pretty legit, right? But the reason that we invest into these guys is because we actually wanna put out a good content. It's not like, oh, dude, we have an idea of creating a podcast. Let me just go ahead and record on my iPhone. We don't care about the quality. We don't care about the audio quality, and let's just put it out there, right, and see if it works. This equipment, guys, that we have, it's pretty legit. And once again, it's actually not hard to manage the equipment, right? It's not super hard like to do, because Rode, and I will wish for Rode to sponsor this podcast, but no, it's not sponsored. But Rode did something pretty awesome for podcasting, guys. And not only that, but to record any kind of audio. And like you guys can go ahead and see on Mike's video, he's using the pod mic. So for you guys that know about this business, it's pretty legit equipment, right? And we are trying every single day to just create ideas, create new content, see when we should post and everything, guys. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, we were super stressed when we saw the views of last week video. It's I think we are at 14 right now, if I'm correct. But when we had podcasts before hitting 300 views, 400, right? And yes, and that's the thing, guys. Like, I mean, we're blessed and we are grateful for you guys, right? Especially you guys that come back every single week. But I think it's gonna relate to the topic that we want to talk about right now. That it's the law of attraction. Yeah. And when Mike told me about this topic real quick, I was like super excited because I do have like 3 or 4 stories about the law of attraction, that it works, and you sometimes do it without thinking. Right. And I don't know if you want to explain, Mike, what the law of attraction is for those listeners that actually don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so pretty much, guys, it's been a pretty popular subject, right, throughout these past years. It's been a popular subject. I'm actually bringing it up now. So pretty much what the law of attraction is, it's a philosophy suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life,
Correct.
while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. So what's crazy about this topic, guys, and this subject is that when I brought it to the table and I told Chewy this is what I want to do, he was all excited about it. So I knew right away, like, this is going to be a good one. And the crazy part about this is that he told me I have stories. So right away, coming from a Christian background, guys, I was a devout Christian extremist for 11 years. And it was very hard because law of attraction is in the Christian world, it's labeled as like new age kind of thinking, and that's not good. It's bad. But if you really think about it, as we'll get deeper into the topic, I want to give the Christian perspective of the law of attraction, because if you, as Tree said, sometimes you do it without even thinking about it. But here's the thing. As you're reading the Bible or as you're studying the Bible, the law of attraction is in there. And I'm gonna show you where and how. But yeah, dude, I think this is a very powerful topic, and it's something that everybody can relate to because it's something so easy, yet it's so complicated.
Correct. And what people don't understand, though, it's that the law of attraction works both ways, guys. So for the positive and the negative. Right now, Mike mentioned that, no, dude, I'm not going to invest in the camera. We are not having that views. But he caught himself and was like, oh, shit, maybe I'm attracting negative energy into me.
Right.
And for you guys that believe in energy, this is what we're talking about. You attract what you think pretty much, right? And it could be, once again, good and bad. So that's why you have to always not think twice, but be aware of what you're thinking, because eventually you're going to attract that. And for you guys that actually want to follow a little bit more about this law of attraction and everything, there's still a really cool book. And actually, I think it's like not a movie, but it's like a documentary or stuff like that. It's called The Secret. That's pretty much, it will describe exactly what we're talking about and what we're going to discuss right now. But it's super cool that Mike is going to touch base on the Christian side of the law of attraction. And of course, I mean, I'm into religion, right? But guys, Mike was like into religion. When I say into, he was actually deep into religion, right? But you guys are going to have two different point of views. Just one of a regular guy, and another one that it's going to show you the Christian point of view, if it makes sense.
Yeah. And as Tree mentioned, there's two sides to this, right? There's whatever positive energy you're putting in and whatever negative energy you're putting in. And the thing here, guys, is that just like with anything, there's also an extreme side to the law of attraction, right? Because as the law of attraction states that whatever positive vibes and energy you're putting into the universe, that's what you're going to attract. Now, the extreme side to this is, at least this is the way that I think of it, is you can't just sit at your desk, not putting in the work, not doing what you have to do, and just simply thinking, I'm gonna be a famous YouTuber. My podcast is gonna be awesome. My podcast is gonna be great. And then when it comes time to record, you don't record. When it comes time to edit, you don't edit. When it comes time to research what's the best day to post, what's the best way to get views, you don't do it. Even though you're thinking that it's going to happen, my boy, let's be real. It's not gonna happen if you don't put the action behind it.
Correct. And that's one of the big mistakes that people, when I talk to them, and because believe it or not, I do have friends that they are into this a lot as well. But when we talk to other people that they're not into energy-based stuff and law of attraction and that you have to put in the work, they literally think that, okay, you know what? I'm going to get a brand new car. Okay, cool. I already thought about it. Okay, the car is going to get here next week. No, that's not how it works, guys. So technically, you have to put in the effort. It's like, okay, I want a brand new car. Okay, let me go ahead and put those extra hours overtime. That way I can go ahead and afford that car. Or you know what? Let me go ahead and start applying or working on my credit to see if I can actually get that dream car, right? So technically, guys, that's the first big mistakes. Now, full disclosure, we are not experts in this topic, right? Yeah. We're just speaking from previous experiences and pretty much stuff or situations that we went through. And sometimes we were not even aware that it was a law of attraction after the fact that it happened. And that's when we realized, like, oh, you know what, dude, I've been thinking about this new iPhone like for the past 7 months, and I got it today. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's the thing that happened.
Yeah. And I think with something like this, dude, it's more than just your thoughts. I think it as I mentioned, it leads more than just thinking about things, because like you said, I can sit here and I can say all day long, I really want a Ferrari. I really want a Ferrari. I'm going to get a Ferrari. I'm going to have a Ferrari by the age of whatever, but I haven't done anything to try to get that or to even deserve to get that car. So how do I expect for it just to show up in my driveway? It's not going to. And I think you brought up a very good point, Chewy, is that we're not experts in this subject. By far, as I mentioned to you, prior to maybe, I want to say last year, when I really started changing the way I think and my philosophy on the way the world works and how to incorporate my Christian beliefs into like the real world, I didn't know anything about this, and I just thought I was just doing things based on what the Bible was telling me to do. Don't turn off the video, guys. I'm not going to preach to you. It's not going to be a Bible teaching, but I think the important thing is this is something important for everybody, and this is something that has really changed my life. And as Chewy mentioned, it's also changed the way that he's been living, because guys, I'm the type of person that I used to be very negative about things. And even when it would come down to like work stuff, if I wasn't seeing things go my way, I would be so like upset and so down on myself and so negative, and always just thinking like, man, like why, example, you know, why did I move to Arizona? Like I just moved to Arizona. We were living in an apartment. Back home in Texas, I had my own house. We were comfortable. We had our family. And now I'm in Arizona. I'm living in an apartment. Granted, it was a beautiful apartment, something that I never in my mind dreamed I would be able to be living in. But nevertheless, it was an apartment. And I wasn't doing good at work. My boss hated me. I hated my boss. I hated going to work every single day, guys. I was just always down on myself, and the more that I would complain, the worse my day would go. The more that I would say like sales aren't coming, it's slow, the more I would see that it would start happening. It wasn't until one day I had a conversation with somebody, and they said, dude, like I'm gonna quit. I'm quitting this job. I'm gonna go do something else. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I know it's going to be something big. I just cannot be doing this job anymore. It's draining me. I'm surrounded by a bunch of negativity. And after having a conversation with this guy, he started talking to me about the law of attraction. And he started talking to me about, dude, you need to put it out there, and you need to, you know, wake up early. You need to start, you know, a motivational journal. You need to do a journal of affirmation. You need to read books. And as he was talking, I'm thinking, this guy, granted, he was in a position at work that was below mine, making less money than I was making, younger than I was. And the way that he was thinking, dude, was just so freaking amazing to me, because I thought like, this is great, dude. Like, so I started researching more about this. And I started finding out, Chewy, that the more that I would think positive thoughts, dude, the more that I would try not to let little things get to me, the easier things would happen. And when something bad would happen, Because listen, thinking positive doesn't mean that no bad things will ever happen to you. But the more that I would think positive, dude, when bad things would happen, it wouldn't affect me as bad, because I would think, well, this happened for a reason, so then let's move forward and let's try to fix this. If it's fixable, let's fix it, right? And I stopped thinking about all the negative stuff. And as that started happening, my life started to get better, dude. I was able to get a better position at work. I was able to afford more things in life. I was able to give my family I was able to help my wife think more positive now. So it's, correct. You start to build other people as you yourself are building on this platform of law of attraction, which is, to me, it's phenomenal, dude.
My boy, and that for me, that was one of the key things too, that you mentioned right now. Like, once you're good, everyone around you starts growing as well. And that happens a lot. Like, for example, in my case, I had cancer, guys. So thank God right now I'm on remission and everything like that. But from that moment on, when the doctor was like, yeah, dude, it's cancer, like my whole life perspective changed from 1 minute to another, guys. So that's when I actually started thinking a little more positive, because we only live once, guys. Yeah. And if we're always complaining about stuff like, oh, I don't have this phone, I don't have this career, but once again, we're not doing anything about it. So that's when I decided like to switch my mentality. And you know what? Okay, control what I can control. Exactly. And if you ask my mom, if you ask my family, that's something that they will tell you that I'm always saying to them and to myself, like, hey, true, you know what? You just control what you can control, right? So from that moment on, guys, when I was actually like switch that little switch in my head, it was like amazing, because good stuff started happening to me. And not only to me, once my sister saw that, okay, this dude is doing this, he just bought a car, he's putting mood into like working into a little more with effort and positive attitude. My other sister got a job now, and she's working as well, and she goes with a positive mentality into work every single day. And that's helping us grow as a family as well, with a positive way of seeing things, right? And that's what it's the most important for me. I'm a big family guy, guys, and when I see my success going to my other family members, like, dude, that's huge. That's worth it for me, right? It's huge. It's super huge. Now, once again, right, I am where I want her to be. No, not yet. It's a lot of work still that we have to go, right? And all the walls that we have to climb and obstacles and everything, right? But I'm already on that path, and I'm already on that road, right? There's a lot of people, and this is actually one, I want to say it was like around 5 or 6 years ago that I was actually wanted to start like working out and everything. And I tried CrossFit for the first time, my boy. And I remember the coach was my friend, right? So that's why I decided to go and try it out. And I was like, oh yeah, dude, I'm excited. I've been trying to do this for 2 years. And then he stopped me, dude. And he told me, dude, imagine if you were real 2 years ago, right now, were you were in a different place. And I was like, damn, that's so true. Because once again, let's be real. How many of us, it's like, you know what, dude? I'm going to start a diet and working out on Monday. Yeah, I'll go to the gym on Monday. I'll start eating healthy, drinking water and everything on Monday. And then that Monday happened, and oh shit, you know what? Maybe next Monday, that's when I'm going to start.
And the thing is that part of life where procrastination gets you, dude, is so freaking dangerous. And it's funny that you're mentioning that, Chewy, because I wrote that in my journal today, dude. I wrote, I am tired of procrastination leading the course of my life.